Yeah, I want to know how many of you guys have experienced sleep paralysis. I'm recording this for our amazing podcast, and I am wearing my husband's jacket, and he wants it. So you gotta love the authenticity of this running this business in real life, right? He's gonna have to wait until I'm done. So yeah, I'm recording this for the Craving Consciousness podcast. We'll probably also drop this on my YouTube channel, Spiritual Awakening Babe. And of course, I'm live right here in your Spiritual Awakening community. And yes, you could walk right behind me, husband. Here he goes. I love my little office space. It's like right next to our bedroom and above on the stairs. So I'm so excited to be recording this for you guys in my new space. First training, I think, here, first podcast here. So how many of you guys have experienced sleep paralysis? Sleep paralysis is when you become aware that you are awake, but you cannot move. You cannot talk. You cannot scream. You can't get anybody's attention. And it's usually scary as fuck. Like, how many of you guys have had it? I want to know. How many of you guys don't even know, maybe you've had it and you thought something really weird was going on, right? And I would love to know in the comments on wherever you're watching this or listening to this, what was some of the other side effects? Did you experience something else? And I'm going to share with you guys what sleep paralysis is, when it typically occurs, and how to get out of it. There's a couple of different scenarios, right? Rhonda's saying, I've had it once. Madeline was like me. My personal experience of sleep paralysis was when I was a teenager. And that's a lot of times when it typically occurs. I would love to know in the comments when it occurred for you. Was it in your teens? Was it during a major transformation in your life? Was it during a stressful time in your life that you experienced sleep paralysis? Not being able to scream. And so for me, it was when I was a teen, like 13, maybe 14. I knew I didn't have a driver's license at the time, but I literally woke up. I couldn't move. I was so freaking terrified. I was trying to scream for my mother to come get me. And then I don't know what ended up happening. I must fell back asleep. And then, I'm going to read that too. So I was absolutely terrified. But the next day, then I woke up and my mom was like, I came and checked on you last night. She's like, I thought I heard you calling my name. And I was like, oh my God, if you ever hear that again, don't just come and look, like come and shake me and wake me up, because I was like paralyzed. Well, what ended up happening is it kept occurring. It was always occurring like right as I was falling asleep. And then I would wake up like an hour later, completely paralyzed and not able to move or scream. And I was absolutely terrified. Eventually it stopped happening. But in conjunction with that, it was also connected to like lucid dreaming, right? Which is where you really truly believe it's true. So at that time, I remember I was flying over the cars and I was flying to go to the lake because I knew how to get to the lake, but I didn't have a driver's license or a car or anything. So I was just flying. It was my dream, I thought, right? And then the paralyzed. And then there was another time where I was washing my hands in the bathroom and I literally thought I was awake. Washing my hands in the bathroom, and then I went to walk down the hallway and I tripped over the dog. But instead of like tripping over the dog, I started floating. Once I tripped over the dog, I was like floating in midair. And then as soon as that happened, I realized this isn't normal. You shouldn't be like flying around the house. That's when I woke up and then paralyzed again. So a lot of times, not all the times, but the majority of the time when we're experiencing this sleep paralysis, it's absolutely connected to astral projection, right? So awesome. I'm going to come back and read your guys' comments to be part of this too. I can't ever go lucid from the paralysis. I feel like it's lucid then paralysis is how it occurred for me, Madeline. She's saying she realized she was paralyzed and wanted to go into lucid dreaming. But for me, my experience was the lucid dreaming into paralysis. So how I explain it, Spiritual Awakening Babe here, how I explain your sleep paralysis is almost like you're not completely docked in your phone. It's like you want to, like if you were going to charge your phone and you don't put it completely in its dock. And so therefore it's not getting any power. So if you think of it that way, it's like your soul, right? A piece of your soul, like is out there flying around, and then it comes back, but you become aware before the soul has settled down, before you're back into your like human awareness, your human awareness and being able to move, right? Yeah. And so Crystal's sharing that hers was when she was young, 9 and 10. Yep. And then I want to explain what she's saying too. So another small percentage of people that experience sleep paralysis also experience what they call the hag. And I don't feel like you guys need to be scared about this, but like Crystal's saying, there was a hag sitting on my chest, and it was drooling, and I could see my grandma, but I could not move or scream. And I saw the bathroom light, and all I could do was pray, right? And my grandma rolled over and touched me, and then I jumped up. So there is this thing, that this creeper known as the hag, and sometimes it tries to like hold you down and paralyze you just to scare the shit out of you and get energy from you, right? But I'm telling you, that's like the 10%. 10, like maybe 1% of the time. Most of the other time is from lucid dreaming. Now let's talk about this lucid dreaming. Let's talk about this astral projection, right? Because here's the deal. You have your main soul, right? The soul that's like in charge of all your lifetimes, right? Because there's no such thing as time or space. So you're living all your lives right now. So there's a piece of you throughout existence. But when you're experiencing this piece of you, every night you like fly around and do other things. Like some of you guys are other people's spirit guides at night. Some of you guys are tapping into your alternate realities at night, but that piece of your soul here like comes out. It's coming out whether you know it or not. As soon as you rest, you're at rest, your body's at rest, and so your soul could go bounce around the universe. But when it's time to come back, sometimes, especially when we're having that lucid moment, we become aware before we're actually docked in. And so Lisa is sharing that she's had the hag thing several times in life when things spiritually were not in line. And so when we're talking about the law of attraction, right, sometimes those creepers can sneak in. And so, okay, so Rhonda's saying I want to astral project, but I'm not sure how to. Honestly, that's a whole nother video. But the sleep paralysis is like a symptom rather of already doing it. You are astral projecting it. You just want to become aware of it, and simply setting an intention before you go to sleep might really help you, Rhonda, being able to go, okay, I want to start becoming aware of where the hell I'm going and consciously recall it the next day. And a lot of times these are where your crazy dreams are, where you're like, I swear it was me, but I was somebody else. It's crazy, right? So I'd love to know some of your questions. I'm going to go back up and engage a little bit because some of you guys had some really great shares. So she can't go lucid from the paralysis. But I know and then I'm going to share with you how to get out of it. She says, okay. Some of you, okay. So let's see. We talked about that. And when did it start? And Luann says, hers started when she moved to Michigan. Yep. And when you do, like, so she is saying, I started saying the prayers, and that's, you're calling on your angels is a great idea if you're terrified, because they don't want you to be scared, right? Oh, you guys are all sharing. Some people have been seeing spooky faces. Oh my gosh, this happened to me 10 years ago. I was trying to get into my room through my window, but it looked like it was trying to tell me something. Astral projecting when you're in a dream, that's what you're doing. She's like, what about astral projecting when you're in a dream? That's lucid dreaming. You're becoming aware of yourself, not as yourself or not in yourself or in a different scenario. And that is you astral projecting. You're aware of another place or time or place in the time space quantum, whatever you want to call it. And then, okay, so how do you get out of it? One of the things we just talked about is like really calling on your angels and your guides and being like, I'm over this, like don't let this happen. And when I was a kid, I did. I prayed and prayed and prayed, and I got this candle, and then it eventually stopped happening. But I feel like it's your human power to say, I don't want this to happen anymore. That makes it stop happening, or it makes you stop being aware of it, rather. And then the other thing is, one of the people that had experienced it, and he had experienced it so much, he said that he could get out of his sleep paralysis. And the way, when we were talking about it, he said that when you become awake and aware, and you know you can't move, and you know you can't scream, it's just completely focus on your muscles and really tighten and tense, and get really, really tight and really tense, and then try to start shaking yourself, try to start rolling. And he's like, and that will help you like get back into your body that much quicker, right? Madeline said she was aware of her. She was literally outside of her body, waving to her family like Charlotte's Web, like, goodbye, I'm floating away. It is really amazing and really experienced. And think about it, if you can master it. I've had clients where her and her daughter would play like a game, and they would go hide and seek. And so they would both go lay down for like a nap. And then the mom's spirit soul body would come out and go hide, and then she would make the daughter's spirit soul would go find her. It's crazy. Like, this is why I love what I do, because the spiritual awakening is so broad and so deep, and so many avenues that you can explore, and so many neat things that you can do. It's the most amazing thing. So to recap, a lot of times sleep paralysis is when you went astral projecting and you did not dock back into your body enough. And so your human awareness is there, but your physical body can't move because your soul hasn't docked all the way in. Typically it'll occur when we're teenagers, right? When we're growing up. Sometimes it occurs in, adult life, but the majority of the people that share it talk about how it happened as a teenager, or it happened at a monumental time in their life, right? And how to get out of it is to really pray, to get help, right? To help you dock in, and then also really use your muscles and get really tight and then shake out of it. And then after the fact, I would also recommend that you do a massive grounding exercise to really ground back and bring all of your energy back into this human awareness, this human experience, and to really get docked in. And this is also another reason why grounding is so very important. Because if you think about how scared you were when you couldn't speak or move, and if you think about little small fragments of your soul not being all docked in, then there's pieces of you that are out there and you're not operating on your full capacity. So go get grounded today too, you guys.